Hey folks, Peter here. In today's video, we're going to go over what I consider to be the ultimate tech deck hack. Let's take a look. Now, as you can see on the table here, we have a 32mm tech deck that I've actually shaped up myself. As you can see, the graphic is kind of cracked and stretch out in places. This is a stock tech deck. You see the size difference there? Also, it's a little hard to see, but the concave reshaped. Basically what I did is I took a heat gun to this, made it flat, and then shaped it to a wooden fingerboard that had a shape that I liked. I didn't really sand this down perfectly. I didn't round the edges. This should work just fine for this video. There you go. You can kind of see, smoothed out that concave a bit so it doesn't have that, like that defined crease line right there. Do you see that? There's the center, and then there's the concave on that side. The light actually really demonstrates that really well. So we kind of got rid of that. Here, I'll show you here. It's still there. It's kind of a little more rounded off, a little more smooth. Shape the nose and tail, rounded those off a little bit, and that's our board. Of course, bearing wheels. In this case, I have some OG Joy Colts. More importantly, they're orange. As I showed you guys in a video before, these are shaped tech deck trucks, 32mm. I haven't fully shaped them, so this, there's still some room for improvement on the ultimate tech deck hack. Like I didn't shape near the pivot area or the other side where the bushings would sit. But for the purposes of this video, those trucks are shaped up just as they need to be. Wheel spacers from Level Up, get those wheels pushed out so they match up nicely and cover the ends of the axle. And another thing I like about the tech deck trucks, the 32mm, is the threading. This nut is flush, and that's screwed down all the way tight, no axles sticking out on the sides. Perfect, I love it. We have some riser pads, Level Up bushings, again, orange. These are some base plates that I have knocked out the kingpin. You guys can see there. I didn't shoot a video on that because pretty much you just hold this up somewhere so that the bottom of the kingpin has an opening that it can fall through, and you just gently tap it out. Should come right out. And since I have that inverted, we have some screws here. Grip tape, we have the Idol New Black. It's a little bit thicker than the Slim Reaper. A little less grippy at the start, but once you break it in, this stuff works pretty dang good. Let's go ahead and start building this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start out with is getting the grip on the board. Pretty straightforward stuff. I don't think I really need to show this off, but get the grip on there. And some people, I guess, everyone does it a little bit differently, but I'm just going to go ahead and get that on there right here. And for me, I always just kind of re-stick it. Even though it's usually on there pretty good the first time, no creases, I just like to make sure, get that on there. And most people know this, but what you want to do to cut this is you don't actually cut it with a razor blade. You do the first step that you would do, like if you were gripping a skateboard with grip tape. Take a file. This is like a cross cut, pretty coarse. Shred it like that. This is kind of peeling off. This is a flat edge. Since I had to, when I reshaped this board, I guess I can talk about that. What I did is I used a heat gun. You could probably use a hair dryer or, a lighter or some sort of flame. Of course, if you do that, be extra careful, exercise precaution, adult supervision, this and that. You guys know the deal. Melted this board flat, and it kind of squished out on the sides, so I took a belt sander and made these sides flat. But I didn't actually shape them, so there's no curve. So these are all like flat walls. Same with like on the nose and the tail, like I was showing you guys. If I really wanted to, I could take, something like a Dremel or some sort of spinning abrasive thing, and just go in and kind of reshape that. Maybe use a router, but I don't know if I'd be using a router on plastic. Who knows? Doing this kind of quick, get it done. So there we go, that is our board gripped up. And I don't have my little poker with me. Hold on, let me see if I can kind of cheat here with this kingpin. I always poke the holes. I don't like putting the grip over the screws. Mostly for aesthetic purposes, I should say. you know, if you do need to take the trucks off and you don't want to take off the grip, works out pretty well. Next thing I'm doing here is just using the screwdriver, a little Phillips head, and I'm just kind of cutting those circles out. Same thing like you're doing on the edge of the grip, but as you can see, I'm making the holes here. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the video and let you know when I get the holes all done. Okay, so I got all those holes open up there, and I tried to test fit a screw in there, and it didn't fit. When I melted the plastic, those holes kind of closed up a little bit. So I just simply took a drill with this nice little bit, made all those holes perfect. So now the screws all fit, and we can go get our base plates on now. So if you guys are paying attention, following along at home, you've probably noticed I don't have any pivot cup material. I just didn't feel like dealing with that right now. Oh, but Peter, this isn't an Ultimate Tech Deck hack without pivot cups. Well, you're probably right, but this is more of a theory than anything else. And you know, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to use these riser pads. These screws might be a little bit short. I guess we'll see here. We'll see if we can't get them to thread here. Hopefully they work. If not, not a huge deal. Once again, not the ultimate if it doesn't have all the things that I want on there, but you know. Again, in theory, I got one of the, oh, there's two of them that gripped. Get that out of the way there. Oh, it's perfect. See that riser pad's kind of smushed out a little bit. They are pretty old, but you know, they raise it up just a little bit. Does it really affect the ride? You know, maybe not too much, but it is a little bit different. So if you can get your hands on some riser pads, these are old Tech Deck ones. I do know there's some companies out there making them now, but this is what I have on hand, so that's what we're gonna go with. So we'll go ahead and get this other base plate on. So to get these base plates to work with these screws, these are actually a little bit thicker than the kingpins that are on the base plates. So I actually had to use that same drill bit that I just showed you guys earlier, and pretty much it's basically the same size as the hole from the kingpin there, but then I just kind of wiggled it around a little bit just to shave the sides out just a little bit. If you shave it out too much, basically these screws aren't going to thread through, but just kind of giving them a little room to play, they kind of threaded themselves through. So that works out pretty nice. I'm really excited to see how this rides. I have no idea what's going to happen. This is my first time using these wheels. I know in the last video you guys saw some yellow Joy Colts. I do have those on a board now over in the other room, so I can't show you. These orange ones I just got in. I was told that they need to be cleaned, but I think just for this video they should be fine. And if I need to clean them, hey, I can just make another video. Thanks for listening to me ramble here while I just kind of get this all together. Listening in? It's too many words there. Too many syllables in that word. Oh, this one's not quite getting there. I might have to, well, I got two of them on there. Might work for the video. We'll just leave it at that so we can move on. So the next step is getting the truck hangers on there. I'm just going to take one of, ooh, that one's getting away from me. Let's take one of those bushings. These are the Level Up, I believe they're the Y truck bushings. They're not, neither one of them is like conically shaped. They're both cylindrical. They are just a little bit snug on that screw. But if I have another screwdriver just for these screws, should be able to get this to fit on there. Oh, and you know what? I think I forgot a step. I'll show you guys here in a second as I get this bushing up. That screw's a little bit thicker than the kingpins. Yep. All right. So what I have to do is I have to take a drill bit that's a little bit bigger than that hole. Should be this one here. And just punch through that real quick. You should probably be doing this a little bit safer than I am. Just exercise precaution and watch your fingers. There we go. I don't know if you guys saw those little metal filings there. Don't breathe that stuff in. If that gets in your lungs, it's really bad for you. There we go. So now this should fit this guy here. Oh, like a glove. There we go. So that is our truck with the bushings and the kingpin in there. Let's get this on here. I expect this setup to be pretty loose. No pivot cup. Opening up that hanger for the kingpin, definitely going to make it looser. You can try to set it up so that it's just barely bigger than that kingpin screw. That fits pretty well. I'm liking how this looks so far. Wow, I can't work a screwdriver tonight. So I'm not going to tighten it down too much, but that's pretty solid on there. And then if I had some pivot cups in there, it'd be awesome. Let me just get this other truck set up and show you how to get the wheels on. So I've got both the trucks on there. Now, one reason why I do the inverted kingpins is the stock Tech Deck 32 truck kingpins. The nut actually sits above the axle and it's really sharp. So if you try to do any, grinds like a 50-50 or a Smith grind or something, anywhere where the truck is flat or dipped down, it'll actually scratch everything and just lock you up, and it's no good. These are still kind of high. I'll have to mess with that later, but for the purpose of this video, this is looking good to go. So now that we have the trucks on there, all we're gonna do is take one of those little wheel spacers, put it on our truck right there, get it looking nice and good, and just slide a wheel on. Now the reason for those spacers is actually so that the axle and the nut, they don't stick outside. Look at that. So that is the wheel that is the furthest out, and then the axle is just inside just a little bit. Makes things a little bit easier. Just repeat that process and we're done. We're done with this board. We can get some tricks in. I have no idea how this is gonna ride or perform. I have not set this up before, like off camera or anything, or made one before this. I'm kind of just winging this as I go along, so I'm glad to see everything's working so far. If I can tighten this down. Can I get this on there? Oh, it's on there, okay. Now, is there a reason to be doing all of this? Not really. I mean, if you're gonna go through the effort of shaping your plastic tech deck, the only real benefit versus just buying a wooden deck that's already shaped up the way that you want it exactly, I don't know, just so it slides better. Plastic usually slides pretty well for tricks. Like slides, no slides, board slides, stuff like that. The graphics are kind of cool, but as you saw in this one, it's a little messed up. So that's kind of out the window. Now I know not everyone's favorite wheel is a Joy Cult, but these are orange and I just got them in, so I want to check them out. That is our setup done. Let's see if we can't get a kickflip on here. Make sure this is on in frame. Oh, I missed it, no. There we go. It actually still is, and I'm also trying to keep it low. Not gonna lie, this feels pretty good. Let's change camera angles and talk a little bit more and then get some tricks in. So there you guys have it. That is my take on the ultimate tech deck hack. If I were to change something, I'd probably put different wheels on here, other orange wheels that I might have, but I am digging this setup so far. Shorter nose and tail, mellowed it out a little bit, inverted kingpins, shaped trucks, level up bushings in the wheel spacers, and that's it. This video, if anything else, is kind of just a proof of concept to see what you can do with the tech deck. Provided you have the right tools and just a little bit of know-how, you can kind of just do whatever you want with these things. Will I actually skate this normally? Probably not. I've got my idle setups. I just got a DK deck that I need to set up, Cam's board, decision deck, all sorts of stuff. So I have other things to use that I don't need to use this, but it's still gonna be pretty fun. Maybe I'll make it like an outdoor setup or something. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the other camera, get some slow motion tricks film for this, and get out of your guys' hair. Before I do that though, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below, what would your ultimate tech deck have? Different wheels, different trucks? Just leave it in the comments down below. Aside from that, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more fingerboarding stuff, or just watch me talk about whatever for 5-10 minutes at a time. So that being said, let's switch cameras and get some tricks done. You guys have a wonderful night.